What's up, guys? Love the intro. We're here, albeit in front of my virtual beach, back live at WeVideo. Super excited. Today's Tuesday Tips and Tricks. We've got quite the lineup of little things we're trying to introduce, as well as any comments or suggestions that are put in the comments box below. So fun fact, we always intended to do Tuesday Tips and Tricks as a live thing every Tuesday. Albeit the quarantine kind of prevented that. So for the meantime, we've been going by doing it pre-recorded. However, that changes today. We've got a lot lined up today. We're going to be presenting our new GIF creator feature in WeVideo, as well as going over the Brady Bunch effect, where you can have 4, 6, 9 different videos all going simultaneously, and how to format that on your timeline. And then we're going to wrap things up with our pre-recorded video, as well as going over it live, discussing how to do a blurred background when you've got something that was shot vertically and you have side margins where it's just black. So with that, let's get down to it. Let me introduce my co-host, Tyler Ball.
Hey, Max. Digging the beach background there.
Thank you, thank you. It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
Good to be live. Excited to demo a couple features, as you mentioned, in WeVideo today, and hopefully get some questions from people viewing out there.
Absolutely. So let's just get down to it. We'll be going over the GIF creator first. Big reason why you'd want to use GIFs is, number one, you can embed them in email, whereas you can't with video. There's also just a variety of different ways you can leverage them, whether it's just instructional tutorials, step-by-step instructions, eye-catching header where normally you'd use an image, you can use a GIF instead. And we're going to show you all these different ways and how to do it in WeVideo. So with that, Tyler, let's get started.
Awesome. Let's hop into the WeVideo editor. We can show you guys this new product feature. First off, shout out to our product team who have been really hard working recently with the quarantine going down and delivering a lot of new updates and features to you guys. So this is one of the newest ones. I'm gonna start out in the dashboard here. If you guys aren't familiar with your dashboard, we've actually updated some quick entry points now. So you can see one of them here is the GIF creator. So let's go ahead and start right there. It's gonna ask you what type of video you'd like, just as usual. We will go with square. You can choose which project you want to put this into. All right, so first thing you're going to notice is we have this indicator, an indication of a good point to cut off. With GIFs, one of the things you really want to keep in mind is the file size. Let me actually hop in. I have a pre-created project with some examples.
Yeah, I mean, on that, one thing to note is while WeVideo, we limit you to 45 seconds. Generally, when you're creating a GIF, you're going to want it to be maybe 5 seconds at the most, generally. When you go beyond that, you're probably better off just creating multiple because it loops. So the viewer might lose track if it's 15 seconds of where the actual beginning of the GIF is.
Correct. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you guys how you get into that GIF creator option. I actually have this project that's already made. We've got a couple of our awesome colleagues here doing some dance moves. Max doing the flow. Yeah, so as Max mentioned, it's good to keep these on the shorter end. One of the things to also keep in mind with GIFs is the way they act is typically to loop. And we'll show you a little bit more about exporting and some of the options you have with GIF creation in a second here. So once you get your timeline to a place you like, You're just going to do the same thing you would with a normal video. Go up to the upper right corner, click Finish, set a title if you haven't already, and then we'll be taken to this export screen. So you'll see here, this is a new option. You have GIF or video. One thing to mention is if you are editing a normal video, you will have this option for GIF creation, even if it's just a video you started editing with intention for it to be a video.
Cool.
Different resolutions, defaults to small. If you do want it to be a bit bigger, you can obviously choose that. And then you'll see here in the advanced settings, you have the frames per second options. So defaults to 10 frames a second. You can drop it even lower, or if you want it to look a little bit more crisp, you could put it to 25 frames a second. But we recommend keeping it on the lower end, especially for things like Imager or emails. You're going to want these to be a lot smaller. I believe Imager limits the size even that you can upload a GIF as. So try and keep these on the smaller end. So put it as small, click export, and just like a normal video, this will queue up and then send you an email when it's complete.
Yep, then click the email, you can download it, share it, use how you please.
So pretty straightforward, lots of uses for GIFs. I know me and Max use them in Slack when we're communicating with our team members. So often a fun way to react to something. Now you can create custom GIFs here in WeVideo, and pretty sweet.
Awesome.
Anything else we should touch up on GIFs?
Yeah, again, everybody, if you're all looking, we're looking at the comments below. We're going to address all the questions and suggestions towards the end. But please, as I mentioned earlier, please continue to provide feedback as well as any questions, topics you'd like us to address either at the end of the video today, or we'll create a whole dedicated video for it. And me switching back here to look at all these comments. Doesn't look like there's anything explicitly related to GIFs, so let's go to our next topic, which is the Brady Bunch effect.
Cool.
So this came frequently suggested by multiple different industries. We had a lot of people in the education side who, in light of graduation, were trying to create a montage of different of all their different students all in the same video, basically each with their own square. On the business side, as kind of case in point right here, we've all resorted to lots of Zoom calls, Google Hangouts in light of social distancing. And how do you format that in video where you have two people talking, going back and forth? The Brady Bunch effect can be applied there. So with that, let's get to it.
Right on. Yeah, I have a project already set up with this effect in place. So let's go ahead and hop into that.
So yeah, we keep calling it the Brady Bunch effect, like the sitcom, but for some of our younger viewers out there, you might not be aware of that show. Basically, the premise is the same. How do you have a grid of different videos or images all going at the same time? And how do you format that in your timeline on WeVideo?
Yeah, so you can see this example here. I've got 9 different faces of people, and we're going to show you real quick how to set this up. It's pretty straightforward. One thing to notice here is all these different video tracks. So you're going to need to set those up. If you don't know how to do that, let's just go over that really quick. In the upper left corner of your timeline, you can click this plus sign, and then it'll allow you to set up a new video track. So just go ahead and click add track, and you can see it put a track on the top of your timeline there. If you want to stay really organized, you can actually go in and name these tracks. So it could be face 1, phase 2, or you could get even more specific depending on what
Yeah, like upper left, upper right. We have a comment in the chat from Zach Mullins who asked how to do a virtual choir setup. I'd imagine it's probably something similar to actually what we're showing now.
Okay.
So right now we've got a grid and all of these different videos don't have sound. However, that's not to say you couldn't.
Definitely.
Yeah, if you were to do basically a virtual choir, you'd probably follow a similar format like this, where you have each singer with their own video square. The key thing is to make sure that they all start at the same time. And then you can also adjust the volume or sound audio gain of each different singer, just over in the left by the tracks. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple ways to get into your audio settings. You have this master volume here, and then you have, if you click this, oh no, it's the opacity, excuse me. If you click this audio icon, you can see there's fade options, volume option, and there's also an audio tab in your editor. So lots of ways to get into audio editing preferences.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good question. That could be a cool use for this, is to set up a choir with lots of different faces performing and sync that all up to make a song.
Exactly. So yeah, we kind of showed the final product, but let's Tyler kind of quickly go over from scratch. Maybe we do this smaller scale, but
Yeah,
kind of how you would go about setting up and formatting each of these different videos so you can get that grid-like effect.
perfect. It's pretty simple. So we're going to do it with 4 different faces just because it takes a little bit more time with the more you add in there. So you can see here I have 4 different clips lined up on my timeline. I'm going to want to start with the one on top. This is important because it'll help you see exactly what you're doing based on the layering of these clips. So double click in, or click the clip and click this pencil icon to get into your editor. Next, click the transform tab, and then all you're going to do is scale down. So it might take some trial and error to get the right size for these clips, depending on how many you're going to put in to your Brady Bunch effect.
But
This
yeah, I think
good.
You've got it set at 0.5, Tyler. Is that generally the right scale if you're going to do 4?
Yeah, I'm just kind of eyeballing it right now. One thing you can do to make this a little easier on yourself is click this show grid and snap option up in the upper right corner. And you can see that it gives me a grid to kind of help indicate, good place to place that. So yeah, let's remember this number here of our scale, 0.5. I can even go ahead and copy that, save the changes, and then just go down to the next clip underneath.
Yeah, I mean, as you kind of touched on, Tyler, it's probably ideal going into this if you make sure that all the clips are the same aspect ratio.
Yeah, great point.
If they're not, then this is going to be a little more challenging.
Definitely.
It might not be the same height or width depending on how that's set up. So it looks like you're making them run flush next to one another.
Yeah, there's a
alternative.
little bit of a border there.
Okay, gotcha.
We could show the people how to do one with a background too, because that's also a cool effect.
Yeah.
Okay, so just continue on down. Keep going with 0.5. And this is a similar process you would use for any sort of picture-in-picture, or
Right.
yeah, if let's say you're doing a gaming video or something along those lines, explainer video. You're just scaling down your image of your face and then overlaying it on some other sort of screen. In this case, we're just lining them up as tiles. So you can see there, that was really quick, and we've got a 4-person grid.
Sweet.
If
Yeah,
we
you kind of see.
Oh, go ahead.
I would say you can kind of see the little black lines right there going down vertically. And here's another good example. If you want to have a background, then you can set that as the very first video track.
Yeah, if we had made our clips a little bit smaller, you could create a sort of border as you see here, and then just go ahead and add a background in. There's actually a lot of cool backgrounds native in WeVideo. If you click this background tab, you can see a bunch of cool motion graphic backgrounds. There's solid backgrounds. You know, a lot of fun things you can implement there. So you can see I put this background underneath. You just want to keep those layering tracks in mind when you're doing this effect.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're excited to see how you guys can utilize this and be creative with this effect.
Sweet. With that, let's get down to our third topic of the day, how to do a blurred background. So a little context to this. Actually, maybe it's better if we just get right down to it. But if you upload a video that's vertical, say you shoot with your phone and you don't remember to rotate it horizontally, then when you upload it into WeVideo and you are putting it into a horizontal video, that's the key word here, then you're going to have two big black margins on either side of the video or image because the image or video was shot vertically.
Correct.
The blurred background effect is a simple, easy to apply feature that's available on every WeVideo account that will allow, basically what it'll do is, actually, let's just show them, Tyler.
Sure. Sometimes it's easier to just visualize things. All right, so I can show you this project. And if you guys aren't subscribed to our YouTube account, you'll see this is actually the Tuesday tip video that we posted today. So it will go over this as well, if that's easier for you to follow along. You can see here this clip, I have the effect applied. But let's just go ahead and play this visual cue similar to what Max was talking about. This is a problem that we run into a lot when we shoot vertically with our phones. Sometimes we forget to flip it horizontal, and then you're creating a video with a mix of horizontal and vertical videos, and you get something that looks like this. This is a term called letterboxing. So you see these big black margins on the side, and it's a little bit,
it's intrusive.
Yeah, it's weird on our eyes. So a cool feature that a lot of people don't even know is here in WeVideo. So if you double click in or click your pencil icon in the transform tab, you can see this blurred background indicator, and just go ahead and click it on, and voila, you have a blurred background. And basically what this is doing is taking our image that's vertical, scaling it up and blurring it so that it kind of blends into our original image and it's less intrusive on our eyes. So this is something that in a lot of other nonlinear editing programs you have to do manually, but in WeVideo it's a very simple process. So now we play back. It's a little easier on our eyes. And you can do this with an image like we have here or a video, either one.
Yeah.
We could even add animation to this image. Start here, and with it scaling up, filling the whole screen. So you can see how that looks a little bit nicer than if we had no blurred background. It's just this kind of feels not as professional. So a simple thing to do just to make your videos feel a little bit more professional and polished. So that was the tip for today.
Nice, nice.
Hopefully you guys like that one.
Well, awesome. We do have another comment from Zach in our Facebook group, Tyler. This is to do rolling credits.
Okay, rolling credits. It's a good one.
Yeah. I want to just open a new window. Here we go.
We can just stay in this project. All right, let's say we finished our flower video. You can see,
yeah,
how I got in there.
Yep. So go to text, first step.
Text tab. If you go into the static folder, you'll see there's actually this one labeled end credits. So all you got to do, drag that into your timeline. Adjust these by double clicking in.
Yeah, so this is static, and then all you have to do really to make this rolling is apply animation.
Okay. Shout out to Patrick, who's helping produce this live video today.
Shout out.
So like Max said, all you're going to do with this is animate it to roll along like you see at the end of a movie. And that's pretty simple to do. Just going to start with the text off screen. So drag that down. One thing to keep in mind is our coordinates here. If you want it to go perfectly aligned up so it's not going kind of diagonal, which can happen if you're just dragging it and placing. I'll show you. Just copy this X coordinate, and then at the end, we'll have this go all the way up here. Make sure that X coordinate is the same. Oops.
There's 176, I think.
176. Yeah, I copied twice. Don't do that. Okay. So now we have our animation applied. If you had a long list, we can adjust how fast that animation takes place by dragging this clip longer to make it a longer or a slower scroll. Or if you just want to get things over with, we can make it quicker.
Yep. And then if you've got more than the 3 there, what you would do is just stack the tracks.
Correct, yeah. If we had a lot of names, I think you can actually add more like this.
Yeah, that's the best way. That's the way to do it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So pretty simple. And something that we often need with projects, movies, anything where there's a lot of people working on it and we want to recognize their hard work. So good question.
All right. I think that's it for the comments on this week's episode anyway. We do have more lined up for next week. As always, though, please continue to provide feedback and comments, feedback and suggestions in the comments either on Facebook, Instagram. We use all of this to kind of then provide insights on new topics that we should create and address in these Tuesday tips and tricks.
Definitely. Yeah. Posting, it keeps us inspired for coming up with new tips for you guys. And, you know, however you utilize these things, we're excited to see it.
Sweet. Well, that's it for this week's episode. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday for another episode of Tuesday Tips and Tricks. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Tyler.
Thanks, Max.
We'll see you all next week.